I have the best kept secret on meal planning, and I am sharing it with you. I have the best kept secret on meal planning, and I am sharing it with you. It's also snack time. And the reason I say it's the best is because it's truly saved me hours and hours of planning. It generates my grocery list and helps me count my macros. Oh, my back hurts. All right, let me show you. When I first started building this system, it honestly came from frustration because I'd find a recipe I loved, I'd totally forget about it, and I'd go back onto Pinterest, and I'm back on a blog that has a ton of pop-ups. It was frustrating to say the least. So listen, I told you the secret, and I'm also sharing with you the secret. This exact template is in the description below. Hey you guys, welcome to my Notion dashboard for my meal plan. It's called Feed and Focus. So if you look over here, this is my database of Brittany Eats Meals, grocery items, daily nutritional goal, new recipes. When you scroll down, these are the meals that I picked for the week, my grocery list that was generated, and then my daily nutrition breakdown. So I came up with these numbers by doing my own research, and I would advise you to do the same. This really helps me to have here because then after I have chosen my meals, I'm able to see where I'm at when it comes to my macros. So I'm able to see if I need to add more to my plate or less. Okay, so I'm going to show you, basically, it's a Sunday. I'm about to meal plan. I'm going to go in here. Say I want high protein and high fiber. I have a formula that is able to see from a certain amount of protein and fiber, and it shows me right here which ones that would be. This one's actually high fat, and this is what I'm eating this week, but I'm not going to use that example. I will say, though, I think the enchiladas, when I was doing that, the macros for that seemed really great. So from here, it says high protein, high fiber. Okay, let me do that. And then I would just mark this week's meal. There's also breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner. So here is what a recipe card looks like on the inside. Type meal, so it's dinner is what I have for here. These are the macros that I get when I do the nutritional breakdown below, which I'll show you guys. And then day of the week, I only did this on Wednesday, so that's what I have it for. Grocery items, this is connected to the database that I have for grocery items. And so what I'm able to do is I'm able to go in here and choose if I already have them in the database. There are a lot of times that I don't, and so I have to add them below, which I will show you. Prep time, I need to come up with this because I've only done this meal once and I just want to make sure I get the accurate time. So I'll circle back to that. Here is where you can check off if you want this to be for this week's meal or not. I tend to be checking that off when I'm just looking at the database itself here, because as you can see, it shows up right there. Link to a recipe. This will come from if I'm looking at like say Pinterest or something else and I find a new recipe, then I will link it in the database where I'm looking at new recipes, and then it copies over when I move it to this database. This is the grocery list. So once I put in all these, they will show up here. And then if I don't have it, then I just hit new page and I create it. So the reason I moved from this one is because they function a little differently. For grocery items, this is where I would add the information. So I would add the serving amount, calories, protein, carbs, fat, and fiber. The difference is that this nutritional breakdown actually is a formula for each of the macros based on the recipe amount, because not every recipe obviously is going to have the serving amount. So I just want to make sure the numbers are a little more accurate. So going back to the numbers that I mentioned earlier, these are how I come up with that. So if you scroll up, it says 317. And one note is that sometimes these will change. I mainly have this for when I'm actually creating the card, but sometimes say in 6 months you were to come back to this card, you'll see that these numbers might change, but that's because they're attached to so many other meals. I mainly just have it so I can have the right calculation here. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. So I like to copy and paste the ingredients here just to be there. And then the instructions. So this is where I tend to, when I'm creating a recipe, I tend to stay on this page. I have this little thing, combined instructions for meals. This is because I did 3 meals at once. And so I just wanted to make sure it was all together instead of me going through different cards. Other thing I wanted to show you is if I know, for instance, that I just want to do a burrito, That's the only thing that's on my list so far. As you can see, it will list out my ingredients here, and then I can look at the meals by grocery item and see what other meals I could make with that. So as you can see, a breakfast item could be the breakfast pizza, and then there's the enchiladas, burrito, and tortilla tacos that I could do. So I actually did something yesterday where I did all 3 in one, just to see how long it would take to fit 3 meals in one prep. And it took probably only an hour and a half, which was great. But yeah, so I really love this feature as well. The last thing that I have not shown you guys is new recipes to try. So I know I have a couple in here right now. These are the recipes actually I was just talking about, and I created with ChatGPT, so I did not have a link, but as you can see, this one did have a link to it. I have not added it yet. I did add this one, so when I checked this, it actually created new cards for me. And that is it. One plan, no stress. See you next time.